listen, this is a disclaimer about my top 10 NES games. These are just my favorite, my opinion, based on nostalgia, sentimental value, and the fun factor of the actual game. I'm not saying they're better than anyone else's or any other games, just these are my top 10 favorites. If you have a different opinion, post it in the comments, make a respond video, that's fine with me, just don't be a jackass. So, here we go. Number 10. Punch-Out for the Nintendo. Awesome game, you know, you play as Little Mac, you punch people, you go up the ranks, you know, until you beat Mike Tyson, actually. Yeah, it's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and he's super tough, or he can be super easy if you really learn what he does, you know. The game's all about learning how the, you know, the little ticks of the opponent, and knowing when to dodge, when to punch, etc. It's very fun, can be very difficult. I think they made one on the NES, one on the Super Nintendo, and there's the new one on the Wii. I never played the second one, but the one on the Wii is just as fantastic as the first. So, awesome game, made number 10 on my list. Let's move on. Number 9. Here at number 9 is Battletoads, an awesome, difficult game where you can play as, well, not can, but do play as one of three Toads: Rash, Pimple, and Zitz, I think. Yeah, Rash, Pimple, and Zitz, that's their names. Very disgusting names, but very awesome game. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up with a little depth, kind of like Final Fight, but, you know, and you can get some weapons, you fight very unique enemies. It has some levels where you go down caves, a bunch of hard boss fights, not really go down caves, but traverse, like rappel down them, and it has some levels where you're on like a speed bike sort of thing. But very awesome, very hard. I wish they'd make a new one. It's had a few games in its time, one on the arcade, and a very awesome game. It teamed up with Double Dragon, and yeah, so moving on to number 8. Number 8. Believe it or not, at number 8, I have The Legend of Zelda. I know. People's like, oh my god, the game's so awesome, it should be higher. But, you know, back in the day, I wasn't all into the whole adventure thing. I really didn't know where I was going. It was fun, and once you found it out, you know, as I got older, I appreciated it more. But going from when I played it, you know, and playing it now, it's making the number 8 spot. It is very good, very innovative. It was, you know, it did a whole bunch of new stuff that games carry it on from then. Very fun, very challenging, and, you know, start off with one of the best game series ever. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. Moving on. Number 7. At the number 7 spot is Ghosts and Goblins, a game where you play as Sir Arthur, a knight, and try to rescue his woman from demons. The thing about this game is you gotta beat it twice to truly beat it, and it's already a hard enough game. I mean, it's really hard to stay alive. But it's super fun. You never get too mad to quit playing, to rage quit. There's something about it that keeps you going. You get power-ups of armor and items. You throw a bunch of stuff. That's his thing. He throws stuff. You get a double jump, but you can't move once you've jumped. You keep going in that direction. So there's a lot of planning according to the area there, and it's had Super Ghouls and Ghosts, a Super Nintendo, and one on the PSP. I don't know any more than that, but Sir Arthur has appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and he's awesome. He's a big keep-away guy, naturally, and I like to play as him. So other than that, you know, number 7 spot there, Ghosts and Goblins. Moving on to number 6. Number 6. At my number 6 spot is good old Metroid. Metroid, the beginner of the exploration, kind of backtracking kind of a game. I'm pretty sure it's the beginner of those kind of things. You go around, you get power-ups, you shoot things, you have boss battles, you upgrade your stuff. I mean, it's just really fun. You gotta love the exploration and the epic battles. I used to play it a lot. My uncle beat it so many times that the game has a hard time working now. He used to play the crap out of Metroid. He loved it. You know, Samus Aran turned out to be a chick. Everyone was like, whoa, you know, good stuff, love it. Moving on. Number 5. At the number 5 spot is Kirby's Adventure. I believe it to be the first Kirby game, unless that one on the Game Boy was the first. But yeah, super fun. I always loved Kirby's games. I still do. I have no idea why, because they are children's games, but something about them keeps me wanting to play, kind of like Pokemon. Yeah, I still play Pokemon, but either way, Kirby's Adventure, go around, suck in bad guys. I don't think he even stole their powers back then. I think he just ate them, or spit out stars. So, first of its kind, from the creator of Smash Brothers. Very awesome. I loved it. So, if you've ever played Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo, it's actually the first thing you play in that game. Yeah, it's really that short. So maybe that way you'll know what I'm talking about. But very awesome. Moving on. Number 4. At the number 4 spot is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. You might have actually played it in the arcades. I live in a rather small town. Arcades really weren't all that much around here. A few places had an arcade or two, but there really wasn't a big arcade spot, you know. I wish there was. I wish there still was, but you know, what are you gonna do? But Ninja Turtles Arcade, it's classic side-scroller beat 'em up. You know, you pick a turtle, you beat up foot soldiers and robots, you know, like Mousers, aliens, stuff like that, and you take on the bosses. Rocksteady, Bebop, you know, Krang, the Shredder is always the final boss, and I think you save April. That's usually the big thing for turtle games, isn't it? You gotta save April or New York one. But very fun. Always a big fan of the Ninja Turtles. Beat 'em ups especially. My favorite was Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo, but that's a whole different countdown, I guess. So I'll move on to number 3. Numero 3. Alright, at number 3, we have Mega Man 2. This would pretty much be on anybody's list, and the only ones I ever owned as a kid, I believe, was 2 and 3. Well, not I owned, but it was passed down to me. And basically what it draws down to is I like 2 just a little bit better because of its characters and the bosses. And what is it? The music's pretty cool, you know. It's just overall an awesome game. Love Mega Man. It's very challenging, but very fun at the same time. Kind of like how Ghosts and Goblins is. It's hard, but it's not so hard you rage quit. Actually, it is, but there's just something about it that keeps you going. So, Mega Man 2, number 3 spot. Let's go on. Number 2. Okay, at number 2 we have Contra. Now, you may be wondering, Contra's good, but it's not number 2 good. Well, the thing is, it holds a pretty big sentimental value for me, because me and my dad used to play it a lot, you know, and I like playing games with him, but he's not really, he don't play them like he used to, you know, and that's really the only kind he likes is those older games anyway. So it's, you know, I enjoyed it a little extra because of that. But Contra, it's a game, you know, you play as one of 2 dudes, or 2 dudes at the same time, and it's a very difficult game. What you do is you go around and shoot people. You just go, you press right and you keep going, and you kill bosses and doors and aliens, and you can aim in all directions, which is a pretty cool little thing back then. What else? You could get power-ups like the famous spread shot, you know, shoots pretty much the whole screen full of bullets in a spreaded pattern. And it's famous for the Konami code, because it was the first game to use that, which is, you know, up, down, left, right, BA start in it. No, it's left, right, BA start. Yeah, that's it. But it would give you 48 lives in this game, either 48 or 50, which is pretty much the only way you could beat it unless you were just had B skill, because it's very, very challenging game. Even with 2 people, it's very tough, but it's super fun. You know, I like it a lot, and that's why it's number 2. So up next is the big number 1. Number 1. And at big number 1, we have the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridge. This came with every system, I believe, back in the day. Super Mario Brothers, if you don't know what that is, must be not born yet because, you know, it's Super Mario Brothers. You run right, you jump on turtles, you get power-ups, you kill Bowser in 8 levels, but it's not really Bowser till the last one, and you save the princess, you know, which is the plot for every Mario game. You save the princess and kill Bowser a bunch of times. But, you know, super fun, super awesome. And then Duck Hunt, you know, a little extra kind of a deal there. You know, you shoot the ducks. You keep shooting them. You only have 3 shots to kill each duck, and the dog would catch them or laugh if you missed. And you always hated the dog because he would just snicker at you like just a big dick. So, and I used to have the zapper, which made it especially fun because you were actually aiming and shooting. It worked unusually well. I'm not sure what the technology is behind the zapper, but it was awesome, super fun. And Mario Bros, you know, I used to play it a lot. Dad, uncle, mom, and that was just big game. They taught me, my dad and my uncle taught me the tricks to it, like the warp pipes and whatnot. They used to be able to, they were real good at it. So it's big, kind of a family game, which I like. You know, games are the best with other people in the same room, mind you. Xbox Live and all that's good and all, but it doesn't beat sitting right beside the person you're playing with. It just, you know. But, you know, that's the number 1. It was my favorite out of all 10 of those. Between how fun it is, I mean, it's even 2 games in one, you know. The fun, the sentimental, yeah, that's the word, and the, just a pure, what's that word? God. Nostalgia, there it is, because, you know, it's the father games, I guess you could say, really big deal. And that's it, you know, it's kind of dragged on here, but that's my top 10. Tell me your own, you know, let me know what games you like, what games you agree with on my list, and thanks for watching and listening.